Story 1. Being in an uneven relationship, for example, where the other person has different expectations for the relationship, different feelings towards you, or is less invested than you are. I got burned badly by this in my first relationship. Never again. Story 2. He has a friend who is a girl. We lived together and I saw them going out many times, but I respected him, so I didn't think much of it. Until one day, I came home early after work and saw her behaving inappropriately with him. Story 3. I'm probably going to delete this, but I need to get this off my chest. No ambition or motivation. I've been the breadwinner for years. My husband refuses to seek therapy. I've been begging him to. My bank account is drained, one emergency from losing our home. He just doesn't care, or perhaps it is his mental illness. He's been so irritable lately, snapping at us. I'm at the end of my rope here. I love him, but he doesn't love us enough to want to get better for our family. I'm so tired of being the only one working and doing chores around the house while he just plays video games all day. Story 4. Misogyny. My husband treats me as his equal. He has supported me through a few different career paths. He does not try to tell me how to dress or what to do with my own body. This is a big part of why we are still together after 10 years of marriage. Story 5. Dishonesty would be the major downfall for any relationship. When someone is lying about so much, you lose trust. Communication was never important because most words weren't even honest. What's the point of good communication if you don't believe your partner tells you the truth? You lose respect because your partner deceived you. Dishonesty equals broken trust, false communication, no loyalty, and disrespect. Key principles for a relationship: trust, communication, loyalty, honesty, and respect. This one person ruined all the important qualities. Trust me, I've been there. Cheating is black and white. It's either infidelity or not. Lies are complex, and you don't want to throw all your time away while trying to build up everything or rather forget. Story 6. When their friends are more important than their own partner, I just don't understand how someone can hear their partner say one thing and completely reject or ignore it. Yet, when their friends say the exact same thing, they agree completely and have no problem fixing the issue then. Story 7. Hairy knuckles, more than 2 murder convictions, a red light in their front window, member of a cult, a large penis. If she has any of those things, I'm out. Story 8. Potential hot take, but maintaining a friendship with your exes is an immediate non-starter for me. I'm not talking about co-parenting or still owning a business together or briefly chatting with one another in passing, but actually maintaining a hangout-style friendship. When your significant other still regularly hangs out with their ex in a social or private setting, then that is crossing a boundary and not insecurity, in my opinion. This is especially true if your significant other maintains a friendship with their ex without informing you. Story 9. It really comes down to communication and integrity. I 100% respect someone who is able to just be honest and open while not being rude about it. I don't expect to be let down gently, but if your values and mine don't match, I need to know. Likewise, don't feel you're somehow saving my feelings by lying about things, or if I catch you, don't make up a story. Just be honest that something isn't working or that you don't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong here. Things like cheating, excessive drinking, drug use, being demanding or codependent, mental health issues with zero accountability or attempts to get help, and a toxic personality all go in there too. But if you can't even communicate, that's a big deal. Story 10. Posting photos of yourself all over social media to garner attention can be concerning. We all suffer from low self-esteem sometimes, but that behavior is just ridiculous. No one needs to know what you are wearing to take a trip to Greg's to get a steak slice. Story 11. Well, besides the basic stuff such as being dishonest and being a control freak, etc. More specifically, if the potential date is a flat earther, anti-vaxxer, supporter of Donald Trump, and generally believes all those crazy conspiracy theories, I'll immediately lose interest in them. Story 12. Dishonesty. If you mess up or do something dumb, just say it. Unless it's cheating, I'd forgive them. My wife dropped my favorite coffee mug that I've had for 10 years, and it shattered, for instance. She could have blamed it on our dog, our kids, etc. She immediately said it was her fault and was sorry. I hate liars. Just own up to things. Story 13. I once ended a relationship immediately because of a girl's blatant racism. In her case, she was overtly anti-Semitic. I cannot devote time to someone with such small-mindedness. Story 14. Religion, do not have it, do not want it, do not want to argue about it. Had a religious girlfriend one time, never again. Psychological slavery is some messed up stuff. Story 15. Being a Trump supporter. Not a Republican, it's okay having different views, but supporting and being a champion for that person tells me all I need to know about you as a basic human being. Story 16. Having a girl best friend. I was the girl best friend for 16 years. We're now married. We never got involved romantically until he was single, but there were feelings there the entire time. Story 17. Gender roles. I'm not paying because I am a man. I'm paying because I care. I don't need to initiate all the time, but I do when I want to. The same thing applies to my partner. She is allowed to have full control of her body and what she does, as well as where she works and what she likes. If my partner is too conforming to traditional societal standards because, well, standards, that's an absolute deal breaker. Story 18. Aside from the glaringly obvious, such as cheating, abusive behavior, lack of hygiene, and red pill Ls, there are many to mention, but here are my top ones. Narrow-mindedness. Someone who is usually heavily identified with a religion or politics and is often rather sexist, classist, racist, ageist, bigoted, etc. Lack of humor or unwillingness to goof off, or those who take themselves way too seriously. Selfishness. We are a team. We don't ask permission to do things, but we consider each other. Big ego or peacocking. Anyone overly concerned with their looks, masculinity, intellect, status, bank account, etc. People who think so highly of themselves and then freak out at the first sign of any adversity. Puke to that. Inability to hold space for others. If I'm feeling overstimulated in a busy restaurant and about to get my period, my partner knows exactly what to do. It's not about walking on eggshells for me. It's about meeting me where I'm at and reading the room. I could write a book. Story 19. Pedophilia. Munchausen by proxy. Abuse. Alcoholism. Substance abuse. Complete irresponsibility with money. Stealing and theft. Invasion of privacy. Cheating. I think these are pretty basic. Unfortunately, I've had run-ins with all of them, and while we can all expect that we will, that doesn't mean anyone has to tolerate or accommodate any of it. Story 20. Being confidently ignorant. If you're I don't know anything about that, but I will finger wag at you when I know you're not doing it right person. I can't be in the same room as you. Story 21. At this point, not also being asexual. If I ever date again, which is doubtful, it would have to be another asexual person. Oh, also not wanting kids, not being deathly allergic to cats, and not a vegan. The separated food and hassle for a dietary choice would just bug me way too much. No smoking of any kind, as I unfortunately feel very ill around cigarette smoke, vaporizers, marijuana, you name it. No hard feelings, though. Aside from that, don't be an unpleasant person, but most people have that standard. It seems like this thread is all answers like cheaters and abusers. I was hoping to see more interesting and less obvious lines in the sand. Story 22. Friends with exes, obviously. If they share kids, it's different. But I've had zero experiences where the ex didn't harass me or my potential partner had not moved on from their ex. Story 23. Borderline personality disorder. Been there, done that. It was awful, and by the end of that relationship, I had been pushed to the point that I could not function and would just break down crying. Story 24. Being intellectually gifted but possessing no emotional intelligence. Lack of mindfulness and empathy. No self-awareness. Inability to take responsibility. Without goals or ambitions. Certain political perspectives or beliefs. Story 25. Does not like dogs. Before I adopted my dog, I tried convincing myself multiple times that it would not be a deal breaker. But I do not think I realized how much I wanted to get a pup of my own. The best decision I ever made was adopting. Story 26. Saying anything bad about my mom or siblings is unacceptable. They've saved me, encouraged me, and accepted me time and time again. What could a random person who walked into my life in my 30s do to compare? Nothing. If you don't like my family, you can't be with me. Also, I am not dealing with drugs and alcohol. Story 27. To mention something I'm not seeing in the thread, religion. I wouldn't be with a person that doesn't have the same religious views as I have. For example, if you are an atheist and I am a Christian, then sure, I can respect your boundaries and not actively try to convert you into a Christian. But that would go against my Christianity and spreading the gospel. I would have to be less of a Christian so that you can comfortably be an atheist. So there's automatically tension in the relationship. Either I am uncomfortable with myself for weakening my faith, or you are uncomfortable with me for not respecting your beliefs and boundaries. Story 28. Regardless of that, if someone says without any reason that a date isn't going to happen, it's just stupid. If someone thinks in the first meeting we should match and be ready to marry, it's just stupid. If people expect that you trust from the very beginning, it's stupid. For me, that's the deal breaker. Story 29. 1. They smoke cigarettes or use other drugs in general. They have or want pets, especially dogs. They drink alcohol excessively. They are extremely religious and impose those beliefs on others. Story 30. Unchecked neediness, bland humor, like CBS sitcom level boring, and general irresponsibility. They have to have enough going on in their life that it's okay if we don't talk for a day or two. Story 31. I need a break, and we can see other people during the break. You don't think we need a break. You want to cheat without the moral and dishonest implications of it, or you already did something and you feel guilty because of it. Now, keep in mind just taking a break is fine. Sometimes it's needed to keep a relationship together. But seeing other people during that break is something I'd never do, nor would I let happen to me. You want to see other people? Fine with me, but you'll never see me again except by coincidence. Story 32. Violence. I have tolerated a lot of things I should not have, but the second my ex threatened to kill me, I was out. Later he said, I was not actually going to kill you. I just wanted to scare you. Mission accomplished, jerk. Story 33. Smoking and drug use are the only things that would make me go, nope, not even interested in trying. Basically, anything else I would be willing to try to put up with. Story 34. 3 things that are absolute nos, and I will break up with you immediately. No cheating, no physical harm, and no lying, belittling, gaslighting, or emotional abuse. Story 35. To be honest, sex. I think it is kind of important to be intimate in a relationship, and I do disclose before I get with someone that it is semi-important to me in a relationship. I hate when it gets used as a weapon against me to deprive me if I don't do exactly what they want, non-sexually. And I'm tired of it being a sudden fall-off after a year or 2 of dating someone. I understand if you want to change things up to keep things spicy, and if you're losing interest, you should have that conversation, not just be distant. Story 36. A combined total of 2 mustaches, or if her mustache is more, how you say, brave, 3 or fewer eyebrows, over 208 or more, likely 312 showers per year. Not committing to commitment when it comes to stand-downs against other duos, for example, groups of 2, neighbors, mail carriers, or co-workers. Her not protecting you with at least a back kick if there is a fight at the bar or not carrying you home. Unaware of gang signs or the ability to read Nordic hobo hieroglyphs carved into the sides of wooden houses or sheds. Has never showered in petrol or by accident. Wears more than 1 hat. Fears bathtubs. Story 37. Personal hygiene. It is not hard to wash your ass, so if you refuse to do so, it's just the beginning of a whole host of problems of easy things you won't do. Story 38. Honestly, I do not classify a lot of these things as deal breakers because things like trust, honesty, respect, understanding, and quality time should all be a given. Being clean enough should be a given too, so I would not even classify that as a deal breaker. I would say not being on the same page as me regarding my beliefs. I am not religious, but I do believe in self-help and the power of meditation, and I want someone on the same page as me. Story 39. They need to have a decent bathroom. I don't need perfect cleanliness, but if I have to stare at months of your built-up stains when I come over, I'm not having a good time. especially if they also have that horrid half-ply toilet paper. Fun times are not fun if you make me clean up with sandpaper. I realized this when I went to a date's place and they literally did not own a toilet scrub, and their showers had nasty mold all over. Didn't even have soap out. No, no, no. Story 40. Distrust, lying, and more extreme cheating are a part of it. When you meet someone, you don't trust them completely. Over the course of the relationship, you'll learn to trust each other more. But if they do something that completely betrays my trust, like doing something behind my back or lying to me about something, it's just over. There are, of course, small things they could have been lying about, but the moment you don't trust each other anymore, there's not much point to it. Story 41. I feel like a lot of these answers are dating deal breakers, not relationship deal breakers. Either that, or people are listing common problems that can be worked through as deal breakers. A deal breaker is something that, if it happens, it's over. No question. In a relationship, if your significant other is giving their phone more attention than you talk to them about it and work it out. It shouldn't be a deal breaker unless you've already done that and nothing changed. Mismatch in humor? Shouldn't you have figured that out before you started a relationship with them? Being too social? Again, figure that out before you start a relationship and communicate your needs and fix the problem. Don't just randomly break up over such a little thing. And then there are people giving legitimate answers like cheating who are being mocked. This thread is just garbage. But yeah, my answer, in dating, my list of deal breakers is a mile long. That's not what the question is about though. Once we get through the dating stage and you've already avoided those issues, there aren't that many things that would cause me to end the relationship without question. Cheating, physical or emotional abuse of myself or anyone else, especially my child. Drug or alcohol abuse, animal abuse, criminal activity. I feel like for most other issues, I'd at least try to work it out. Or I would have spotted the issue in the dating phase and avoided a relationship to begin with.